So let's move on to the next topic, guys. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me tonight. Um, the next topic, we're going to get into Anthony Edwards. As you can see from the lineup, he's at it again, and it is pretty disappointing. Oh man. I mean, the guy just won't stop running his mouth. He's been slapped on the wrist by multiple people. Kevin Garnett, Magic Johnson, Dominique Wilkins, amongst many others, even peers currently playing in the league. Just when that news cycle was fading of him saying that, none of the past players besides Michael Jordan had any skill, just when that was fading away, here comes Anthony Edwards bad-mouthing Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's leadership now. So here's what I believe he told this to Sports Illustrated, or it might have been Variety magazine. Let's see. So he's asked about their leadership, and he's asked essentially if he agrees with their leadership. And I thought that it was interesting because this is what he had to say. He goes, "I can agree to disagree because in today's game, everybody's different. You can't talk to everybody the same. You got to talk to players differently," Edwards said. "Certain players can take it. I talk to some of my teammates like, hey, get your shit together. But some players, you got to talk to them on the side. You can't really cuss them out in front of everybody." I think that that statement, like, minus the fact that he's basically trying to torch Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, I don't really have so much of an issue of what he's saying. Leadership is situational. I mean, as a leader of people, as a manager myself, it's definitely a situational thing. Everybody cannot be led the same way. You kind of have to meet people where they're at in their development. And anybody that manages people knows that, including Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I doubt that they spoke to everybody the same way. I never heard any story of Michael Jordan punching Dennis Rodman in the face. So I'm not sure why people have this incessant need to discuss business that they were not a part of. How could you know what kind of leader Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant were? Just because they played the game very similarly, how would Anthony Edwards know that they had similar leadership styles? I get answering questions that you're being asked, but where the hell is the media training for Anthony Edwards? Why does he have absolutely no ability to answer questions about the eras before him with any modicum of class, decency, or respect? Michael Jordan, he wanted to win. He's a proven winner. You don't get 6 rings without being tough and having relentless focus on your goal. At work, I call it, to my team, I call it the WIG, the wildly important goal. And that's what you're focused on, and that's all you're focused on. So, I want to play a soundbite from Michael Jordan. He's asked about a comment that Luke Longley made about his leadership. I'll play it for you guys now.
Luke described your leadership style as carnivorous. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that from his perspective. Quite naturally, yes, I can see that. And look, I didn't go in there with that mentality. That's how it's gonna. It's just so. My mentality was to win at all costs. And pull, push, yank, whatever to get everybody on the same page. If I were to change my personality back, to something totally different, I wouldn't be who I would have been. I don't think we would have had the same successes. I think a lot of players probably wouldn't have been the same in terms of their perspective. So yeah, I can see him saying that. But the thing is that I think it was needed in some respect, and I think our success illustrates that.
That's a winner talking. That what you just heard, that's a winner that you hear talking. Anthony Edwards has never won anything. Not a damn thing. He made it to the Western Conference Finals. He got the boot by Luka Dad Bod Doncic. By a guy that literally shows up to the NBA with a dad bod. That's who he was knocked out by. A guy that can't defend. So yeah, Anthony Edwards never won anything. How would he know what it takes? You have guys that can't handle the competition that's in front of them. He couldn't handle the competition that was in front of him. He couldn't handle the Mavericks. But you want to criticize guys that came before you, guys that were 5- and 6-time NBA title winners. Hear the difference. I want you guys to hear the difference between MJ's leadership and the supposed GOAT of today and the leaders that exist today in the league. It's not really close, guys. Come on.
My biggest thing is that when you look at MJ and when you look at how he approached the game, he approached it with one mindset. He would make up things. He would create things to get himself going. And everyone knew that. The NBA knew that. There was a fear that went from his teammates to his players. And I love it. My favorite quote is, "No one's ever been coddled to greatness." And so that's what I took from that. MJ wasn't going to coddle anybody. He was going to test the coaches, the GMs, down to the 15th player. If you want to be a part of this, you have to be able to pull your weight.
I'm not one who likes, because this has all begun, to compare everything, making Michael against LeBron. But you played with LeBron James. You were one of those teammates that we're talking about. So I guess I feel like I should ask you, is there a similarity there in the way LeBron, as the best player and the leader, would lead a team? Do you see a similarity there?
I'll say this, what people don't know, and a lot of players from my generation that played against Michael Jordan at the Michael Jordan camps, that played with him in his comeback years. One thing that Michael Jordan was great at, it was camaraderie. Yes, he would take you out. He would have dinners with you. He would hang out. He would tell stories. That is a similarity that LeBron James has. Does LeBron have that same focus in practice? When it comes to preparation, yes, but the NBA had changed. So there's not, I'm going to beat you down and play against you every single day in practice and prove to you and make you get on my level. But as far as prep and mental focus, yes. As far as bringing people together and teammates and understanding that we're going to go on this journey together, so I need to be able to get on you at the most intense moments, there were similarities in that.
It's really interesting. They don't practice. So that's why you can't beat somebody down every day in practice. I'm going to beat you. Like they don't practice today. So it doesn't happen that way. But yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they had certain ways of motivating themselves. They led their team, I would say, in a really interesting way. I think in the way that they needed to lead them in order to drag them to wins. But everybody had to be willing to go through that. They have to be accepting and brought into leadership. That's how leadership works. So Anthony Edwards can say that he didn't agree with it, but Michael Jordan's teammates agreed with it. Kobe Bryant's teammates agreed with it. And if they didn't, they weren't there to win. They wound up maybe leaving the team or being traded because they weren't the winners that they needed to be in order to play alongside those guys. I do have a few short sound bites from Kobe Bryant himself discussing leadership and what that looked like for him. So I want you guys to listen to the late, great Kobe Bryant talk about things that only winners can understand.
Is it a lonely existence? Leadership is lonely. It is, but that's fine.
Listen to me. Leave me stand right there. I want you to go there early. Listen to me. Go there early.
I'm not going to be afraid of confrontation to get us to where we need to go. I think there's a big misconception where people think winning or success comes from everybody putting their arms around each other and singing kumbaya and patting them on the back when they mess up, and that's just not reality. If you're going to be a leader, you're not going to please everybody. You got to hold people accountable, even if you have that moment of being uncomfortable.
Matter of fact, put your hands on me. Don't touch the rest of the script. All right, put your hands on me. All right.
Have you guys ever heard of this woman? Her name is Brene Brown. She writes a lot of books about leadership. She has a book called Dare to Lead. It's really, really excellent. It's really about being courageous enough to lead your team. You're daring. You need to be able to be brave enough to coach people. And I absolutely love the book. It made me a better leader. It made me a better person. It made me more courageous and a better communicator as well. So I really recommend you guys to read this book by Brené Brown. It's not Renee with an R, it's Brené with a B, Brown. And it's called Dare to Lead. But just Kobe Bryant, he's dead. Why slander him for absolutely no reason? You can agree to disagree about what? Winning? You don't agree about what it takes to win? Being disciplined? I mean, it makes sense you don't agree about what it takes to win because you never won anything. You wouldn't know what that feeling is. Kobe didn't curse out everybody that he played with. Michael Jordan didn't curse out everybody that he played with. People forget that Kobe Bryant played with Shaq. And Shaq was out there hazing people, making them drink urine and all kinds of things. Those are the stories that I heard that I disagreed with. Kobe Bryant wanted to play hard. He wanted to train hard. He held his teammates to a standard, which today, I guess, people they don't want a standard. They want to just do whatever they want. They want to go out there and be accountable to nothing, held to no standard. But yeah, Kobe Bryant, he held his teammates and himself to a standard. He was the first person in the gym every day. His work ethic was well known throughout the league. From what I've heard, MJ and Kobe, they never asked anything of their teammates that they were unwilling to do. And we heard Michael Jordan say that. Anthony Edwards, he's losing a lot of respect. He couldn't handle the constant Jordan comparison, so he's trying to tear down the generations of the past, tear down their wins, criticize their leadership. Really, like today's basketball players, they're like pussycats. What Anthony Edwards is saying that he's unwilling that he's saying that he's unwilling to have the uncomfortable conversations. He's unwilling to do what it takes in his leadership to win. That's what I hear from that quote. He's cracking under the pressure. The pressure that is essentially to perform to the standard of some of the greatest players that have ever lived. It's hard to live up to that. I agree. It's hard, and we all know that. But don't bite the hand that fed you. MJ is the reason why huge contracts and sneaker deals exist. Stop being disrespectful. Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, was one of, if not the greatest Laker ever. Stop trying to tear down his legacy. Shut your mouth, Anthony Edwards. Lie to those 4 baby moms you have. Stop lying to the public. Stop trying to distract us from the fact that you have yet to win a title and you're cracking under the pressure of comparisons. Comparisons, they are the thieves of joy. But you owe the big homies an apology. How dare you, Anthony Edwards? Shut your mouth and figure out a way to win. And stop speaking on things that you know nothing about. When you win a title, share with everyone how you did it. Until then, shut your mouth. Okay, guys. I have one more Kobe Bryant soundbite for you for this topic.
And I'll give the ball into you if you work. You don't work, you don't get the ball. Said, throw me the ball. No. Work. I never pulled any punches. What you see is what you get, man. Neither one of us are going to go, smile in your face and then go over here and we never did that. We'd say it right to each other, man, and be done with it. Now let's go out and win.
Does that sound like cursing people out? It sounds like Kobe Bryant expected his teammates to work hard. Period. That's leadership, guys. And it looks different for everybody. It looks different in every profession. It looks different for every person. But Anthony Edwards, he needs to find what his leadership style is, because I don't think that he has one. So I'm willing to take one phone call on this topic, just one, guys, and it needs to be a minute long. Let me go ahead and put up the phone number. Sports T, talk to me nice.
Hey, how you doing? This is that black guy from St. Louis, Missouri. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, that black guy?
I just want to let you know that Sunday stream. I mean, you was on a 15, and I loved every minute of it. Besides, Bible reading and meditation on Sunday, that got my Sunday off to a great start. About this topic, the only thing that I can really say is there's only two valid things that you could say to a grown man. You're going to either give me an excuse or give me a reason. And it sounds like this man is just giving excuses why he hasn't won, why, when you get beat in the playoffs in a gentleman's sweep, and then you sit up there and say, well, okay, now I know I need to how I need to train in the offseason because I wasn't ready to make a deep playoff run. That's an excuse. When you go to training camp, when you do anything when you're a professional and they're paying you millions of dollars, it's not just to get through the regular season. It's to get to the playoffs, have a chance to win a championship. So that's an excuse. I'm so sick of this generation making excuses and not taking accountability. If he would just said, hey, look, that was a better team. They kicked our ass. We got to get better. I would have more respect for you than just sit up there, oh, well, I didn't know that this is how hard it was. Jordan, when he got knocked out by the Pistons 3 straight times, he said, hey, we got to be as better. We got to go back to the lab. We got to get better. We got to execute better, and we'll see them next year. There was no excuses. I come from a generation where men were men. Now, men are males. And it's frustrating because I don't even have anybody that I respect like the Jordan, the Kobe. Look, I used to be a Kobe hater until he retired. Let me say it like that. I started to understand that he was the last of a dying breed. I started to understand he was a competitive guy. Yes, I may have threw salt on him because he wanted to be like Jordan, but now I understand that if you want to always be the best, you have to go after the best. So I'm not mad at Kobe like that. And now that he's gone, I don't even think people respect him the way he should have been respected while he's on this earth. There is no competition like that anymore. And that's what makes me not watch it. I get more competition watching, old heads play at the park. Or when I'm in my 40s now. When I go, it's more competitive. Back to what Kobe was saying. I remember being on basketball teams where somebody was telling me, dude, you're letting the dude burn you. Get back on defense. Hey, watch his hips. Don't watch the ball. And it's like, okay, let me watch it. Let me watch the hips, not the ball. I didn't get mad or stop playing defense. No, I stopped playing more defense. I used to just a small story. I'll be quick. But I remember I was 14 years old. I could not make the basketball team in high school. I started training with this old guy. His name was Ernest Wiggins. He was St. Louis, Missouri. He took me to Wash U University and made me run the benches all summer long. We didn't get out there and shoot and do drills. He said, no, if your conditioning is not where it needs to be at, jump shots and crossovers and ball handling is useless. I made the damn varsity team that next year because I was running circles around those baskets. And he told me, dude, you work on your body, then you work on your game, and it all comes together. I didn't make excuses and say, oh, I don't want to run the benches. It paid off. Hard work pays off, but when you spend in the off season and you're more worried about who you're gonna get pregnant or your drip, your swag, but then you don't worry about your game, when you go to the playoffs, your ass get gentleman swept. So don't make excuses. Just take accountability and do better.
Right. There's no accountability right now in the NBA, and I think that some of the biggest team leaders, the Ant-Mans, the LeBrons, they're constantly making excuses, and it's pathetic. Honestly, it's very pitiful. So
Right, black scarf on your wrist after you get swept. Oh, I was playing pretty simply with a broken hand for the rest of the series, but yeah, you gapping up everybody with that hand and all this other shit. Oh well, hey, we were top heavy or we bottom heavy. All that's excuse. You lost. Period. Point blank, you lost. Give the other team that credit for beating you, and show me why you're the GOAT, or show me why you next up. I don't need to hear excuses.
I'm with you. No, this was a great call. I want to thank you so much for calling. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we move on to the next topic?
Hey man, shout out to everybody, man. Look, I miss Kobe. I miss what he brought to the game. He's missed every season. Every season that we look back and we say we didn't have Kobe, we didn't have Jordan, we didn't have even the underrated people like Mark Jackson. I miss his fire in New York and in Indiana. I even miss Reggie Miller's frail ass because, you piss him off, he'll get hot. I miss that competitiveness. That man cried like a baby because he missed a free throw against the Knicks to end up coming back to bite him in the ass. And he cried like a baby because he let his team down. I miss stuff like that.
Yeah.
I miss Grant Hill going out there playing hurt and end up making his injury worse because he wanted to compete. He didn't make excuses. He didn't say the team made him do it. He went out there because he wanted to compete. I miss that. He sacrificed the rest of his career. It was never the same. He was LeBron before LeBron. Mr. Doing everything. Yeah. And I miss that competitiveness. I miss Nick Van Exel, one of my favorite point guards of all time. He's coming after you. He's coming after you. He didn't get the nickname Nick the Quick for no reason. I miss my era because I knew no matter if it was an NBC game, no matter if it was no matter what game it was, I was going to see the best competition out there. I can't say the same now. Don't even get me on that Ronnie shit. Make it with. I love the fact that you say that he's dressing up as an NBA player for Halloween. You're absolutely positively right. But, competition is missing. Accountability is missing. And this is why, guess what else is missing? The true fans of this. You keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thanks for calling. Great call.
Anytime.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, guys. So we're going to move on to the next topic.